Can you guys feel the breeze of justice finally washing through this country we call Ghana? It's really not much, but it's just enough to be appreciated. Because if you can remember, it was only last week the news broke that the FBI were in the country arresting online scammers. And that sent a shockwave through the entire country because the big boys were all in hiding. But for many Ghanaians who had no involvement in online scams, their general mood was that of joy and celebration. Especially the boys working 9-to-5 jobs. Those people were so happy because they were complaining that these fraud boys and big boys were using the money they had stolen from white people to steal our local girls. These big boys were simply ruining the dating market. Because why would you send someone's girl 5,000 cedis because they complained of a headache? The girl only posted on her stats that she was having a headache, and then you proceed to send her 5,000 cedis because you watched her stats. Paracetamol crying saying. So that's why a lot of the youth were glad the FBI has stormed the country. And we all thought that would be the end of justice in this country, at least for a while. Because as they say, lightning does not strike twice in the same place, but oh boy, this storm of justice looming over this country at the moment is striking down the worst type of people. Case in point, Miss Patricia Agradaa. Whatever you want to call her. I've already made one video about this woman. I'll link it to the comments so you can watch after this video. This woman is simply a terrible person. From everything I have learnt about this woman, she is simply just the worst. So it is pretty cool to hear that she has finally been sentenced to 15 years in prison with hard labor. I think we all collectively need to give a round of applause to the judges. It was very cool. In my opinion, she is a terrible person. She has no dignity. She has no respect for man or God. And like many other men and women of God around the world, she is turning people away from God. By the way, I'm making a very personal video about that, how these fake prophets and men and women of God are ruining lives and taking away the most important possessions Christians have, their faith. And that should be out by Sunday morning, so please subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see that. Now back to the video. So the sentencing comes as a result of an all-night service she conducted back in 2022.
You understand this? That's what you know. Gosh. We are not
To get the word out there and promote this all-night service, this woman did not take the traditional route of releasing flyers, and maybe she did, I don't know, but what she did was mind-busting. It's crazy. Mama Pat did not promise life-changing sermons or miracles. No, that's not her brand. She instead flaunted wads of cash. Promising to share that cash with people who showed up for the all-night service. She said she had money doubling powers. So all you needed to do was to show up to this service with however much you could afford. If you had 100 cedis, bring it. She was going to give you 200 cedis back out of the goodness of her heart and the spirit of money doubling. So for a lot of people, this was a no-brainer. I know a couple of people in my comments, and many of you watching this video would even fall for this. Because how often do you as a church member leave the church premises with more money than you went in with? It never happens. So on Patricia's part, that was very good marketing. A+. So the time finally came. It was 9th October 2022. The service had begun and it was edging towards item 22. Sharing the money.
You understand this? That's what you know. Gosh. We are not anymore. Understand this? But anymore. I'm for oil and count. Gosh. Not favor no and toast. Jesus. Understand this? No about. Yes, Lord.
But unbeknownst to the members, Miss Patricia here had different plans. Not to give them the money like she had promised, but to take all they could give. You see, she's a very smart woman. Before you think, Patricia has thought. And I'm pretty sure she's going to do just fine in jail. She has a street cred. She was a fetish priest.
I am a fetish priestess. I am a fetish priestess.
And now evangelist. So her services will be in high demand while in prison. So for all of you worrying about her, please don't. She'll be fine. So during the service, or during that segment of the all-night service, she instructed the congregation to divide themselves into groups of 20. And members in each group were supposed to pay an amount of 1,000 cedis and below. So if you could pay 1,000, you do that. 900, you do that. 800, you get it. She went on to say if a group of 20 could each pay an amount of 1,000 cedis, so every single one of them is paying 1,000 cedis, amounting to 20,000 cedis, this woman was going to give them 50,000 cedis back. Whew. What a deal. You come to church with 1,000 cedis and leave with 2,500. And if each member of a group paid 900 cedis, she was going to give them 40,000 to be shared amongst them. But once these people paid the monies, this woman, like any great performer, won up the ante and delivered a miracle these people were not expecting. She simply disappeared. She left these people stranded and they were in the streets crying. For all you know, these desperate people took everything they had, they took their savings, brought it to church, hoping to double it, and simply got scammed by their pastor. And that was in 2022. So after 3 years and multiple court visits, the judge finally decided to give Nana Agradaa, also known as Mama Pat, 15 years in prison with hard labor.
Mama Pat, what would you have for your last story for? And then I'll catch you up.
Is that justice or what? I mean, this is very bad for her, obviously, but I personally feel very little sympathy for her because, like I said earlier, this woman, with many other men and women of God, are taking advantage of desperate people to enrich themselves. They are taking these people and stripping them of their most prized possession, which is their faith. Most of these people are going to be wary and might start questioning their faith, going to church, and it might ruin their relationship with God. Aside that, behaviors like this leave the church members worse off and diminishes the essence of Christianity and religion, essentially reducing this great thing which gives people peace and joy into a concert party, which gives birth to online memes and statements that simply have no place in the church.
I say, who give you the opportunity to get your own church?
And again, this woman is not the only person performing these type of scams. There are a lot of them out there. My only problem with Mama Pat was how easily she made the switch. I expected it to be more challenging. I expected Ghanaians to question her authority and not show up for her services. But the woman who was not long ago presumably slaughtering animals for gods, dwarves, and demons was now in church preaching the word.
He was baptizing. Jesus came from Galilee to Jordan to be baptized. Okay.
I'm not saying that's not possible, but for this particular woman, all the signs were there. The red flags were flying over the place, but a lot of people just decided to throw the blindfold on and follow her.
Criminals. We are two criminals.
So I guess this is what happens when people ignore the signs and follow blindly. Alright, once again, there will be a video about this same thing, how terrible people are ruining Christianity and stripping people away from their faith. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like the video, share it with someone. If you have any comments, if you are Nana Agradaa apologist, let me know in the comments. Say something in the comments. Let me know how you're feeling. Aside that, yeah, I guess I'll see you another time. Bye-bye.